What's going on, guys? This is Devin Gage from Gage Strength Training, and this is Jeff Schumacher. Chances are you met one of us when signing up for the Rip Dads Challenge. Now, this is the Father's Day edition, so we've changed things up a bit. We've improved it. This is our third time running this challenge. We've seen unbelievable results every single time. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna walk you through the nutrition guide that we just put in this email so that you guys can follow along and really understand why we're asking you to do these things. So first and foremost, I want to explain, we like to keep things very simple here. We don't want to throw, a super strict calorie restrictive diet at you that chances are you'll never follow. You might be able to stick with it for the challenge, but going forward, you're never going to be able to follow that kind of lifestyle. So we like to keep things basic, and we like to keep things, the simple things that you're going to get results that you can stick to forever and incorporate into your life. So the first one is water intake. So you're going to see we ask that you consume 0.55 ounces of water per pound of body weight every single day. So for example, if you weigh 200 pounds, this is 110 ounces of water a day. So Jeff will explain some of the benefits of that for you.
Yeah, I mean, it may seem like a lot, but water is important. You think about it, if you drink a lot of water, people think you'll retain water, you'll hold water weight. It's exactly the opposite. So the more water you drink, you flush yourself out, the less you actually weigh. A simple way that I like to go about getting my water is I have an app on my phone. It's called Water My Body. It tracks how much water I drink a day. All I have to do is open it up, click a button, it says I just drank a bottle of water. I do that 8 times a day or 8 or 10 times a day, and I reach my goal. So it may seem like a lot, like I said, but it's really simple. It has benefits far and beyond just your body weight. It'll make you feel better, but that's number one. That's why we're going over it first. It's the most important thing you can do when starting off trying to lose some weight.
Yep, so that's going to improve your digestion, improve your metabolism, and just make you feel better in general. The next one is protein intake. Now, this is one that a lot of people have questions about, and a lot of people get intimidated by or don't think that they can do. We were asking you to increase your protein intake to 1 gram of protein per pound of your ideal body weight. For example, if you weigh 185 pounds, but you want to weigh 150 pounds, then you should be taking in 150 grams of protein per day. Same thing, if you weigh 250 pounds, but you want to weigh 220, you should take in at least 220 grams per day. So improving protein is going to boost your metabolism, and it's really going to help keep you feeling full for a long time. It's going to increase lean muscle tissue that you're working so hard to gain. This is something that with the right diet guidelines, and we're going to go over a sample meal guide, this is easily attainable. And if you can't get it from eating whole foods, then we suggest a protein supplement. In this new guide, we suggest the brand Optimum Nutrition Gold Standard 100% whey protein. That's a great supplement, low calorie, low sugar, low carb. It's going to get you great results. The next item on the nutrition guide is carbohydrates. For this 30 days, we want to maintain below 50 grams of carbs for 30 days, okay? To do this, you want to focus on eliminating all of the processed carbohydrates in your diet. So all the breads, all the pastas, all the processed foods that you don't really know, what are in those foods, and really trying to maintain a low carb diet. This is going to really help you make you feel better. And Jeff can talk about the reasoning we do that or some of the benefits for that.
Yeah, the reasoning behind that, it's a really strict low carb diet, but like Devin said, it's 30 days. To get the best benefit and the best results in 30 days, you're going to have to stay below that carb threshold. To a certain extent, you need carbs for energy. Okay, you need to replace the glucose that you lost in the workout. So that comes from carbohydrates. That's your source of energy inside the gym and out of the gym. So it's important to get your carbs. However, you got to make sure that they're good for you. So that could be oatmeal in the morning. That could be brown rice at lunch and dinner. It could be brown rice or a sweet potato. Okay, all those 3 main ones should be the 3 main carbs that you focus on throughout the 30 days.
The next thing you're going to see are healthy fats. So because we're maintaining a low carb diet, you want to stay healthy. You want to keep healthy fats into your diet. We give you a couple examples. Using things like coconut oil to cook with. You know, they say that people that just start taking coconut oil with changing making no other changes to their diet will drop about 5 pounds just from that. So coconut oil is a really essential healthy fat, which is some of those really healthy fatty acids that you need. The next item is sugars. We want to eliminate a lot of the processed refined sugars out of our diet. So that's added sugars, you know, any kind of sugary drinks like juices, sodas, things like that. What a lot of people will tell you is, you know, fruit is really high in sugar. So if fat loss is your goal and you are really dead set on losing fat, having a lot of fruit in your diet is not the best thing for you. So you really want to limit your fruit. You know, you need the carbohydrates and you need those sugars for energy, but we want to limit that to about 1 to 2 servings a day and keep it about post-workout if you can. Healthy snacks. Healthy snacks we're going to go over in the meal guide, but some good examples are avocado, fruit, nuts, and vegetables. Okay? Like I said, limit the fruit. You don't want to eat fruit all day. You want to stick to veggies, nuts, and avocado. And those are really going to keep you, you know, satisfied throughout the day. You're going to feel full from eating less than, you know, a bag of chips would. The last thing you're going to see here are toxins. So not only is this going to really help you burn fat, but this is also going to help save some money on grocery shopping. So there's something that we follow. It's the Dirty Dozen foods and the Clean 15 foods. So the Dirty Dozen are the 15 foods that are most highly sprayed, or the Dirty Dozen are the 12 foods that are most highly sprayed with chemicals and toxins. And the Clean 15 are the foods that have the least chemical exposure. So the Dirty Dozen are the foods that you want to shop organic. You want to buy these foods organic and really make sure you wash them and take good care of them. And the Clean 15 are foods that you don't necessarily have to buy organic, so you can save some money there. You can find this list at ewg.org and you know, base your grocery shopping around that. So our sample meal guide is pretty straightforward. We give you about 20 examples of foods to eat for breakfast, foods to eat for lunch, foods to eat for dinner, and things to do for snacks. We kind of give you a little sample meal menu that you can base your grocery shopping list off of and plan your days around. Like I said, this is not a strict calorie restricted diet. We're not saying eat this at this time, eat this at that time. We try and keep it simple, something that you can follow and incorporate into your daily life. Okay, Jeff, do you have anything else to say about that?
The only thing, like Jeff said, it's simple. The biggest take-home message, I think, is your foods need to be natural. You know, you gotta stop with the processed foods, and for, you know, if you're here for 30 days and that's it, 30 days of natural foods, you're gonna get amazing results from just actually eating real food opposed to processed food and all the junk that's in the stuff that you might be eating now.
All right, so next we're going to show you some of the really basic movements that we do here, and we're going to really get you set up so when you come in, you're going to know exactly what to do, and you know exactly what to do. All right, guys, so the list of exercises that we're going to show you are going to be four very basic patterns. There's the squat pattern, the hinge pattern, the push, and the pull, okay? So all of these are basic patterns that you're going to learn, and then there are hundreds of variations that we use here in the gym, but they're all based on these four basic patterns. Okay, the first one is going to be the squat pattern. Okay, so this is a very natural movement. So what you want to do is get your feet about shoulder width apart. See Jeff standing, weight is but flat on his feet, is not on his toes, he's not leaning all the way on his heels, and he's going to push his hips back and sit and keep his weight nice and flat on his heels. His weight is not coming onto his toes, his heels are not leaving the floor. Okay? So you want to imagine like you're sitting down in a chair or sitting down on a toilet, reach your butt back and sit into that squat. If you have to practice sitting into a chair, you can do that. It's going to show you from the side. Again, his knees are not coming forward and his toes and his weight is not coming onto his toes with his heels coming up. You want your heels flat on the floor, you want your hips back, and your weight flat on your feet or in your heels. All right, so that is the squat pattern. All right, guys, the next pattern that we're going to do is the hinge pattern, okay? This is called the hip hinge, and this is the foundation for exercises like the deadlift, kettlebell swing, cleans, every exercise where your hips, your hamstrings, and your glutes are really firing together. We use this a ton in the gym. It's going to be crucial to learn. All right, so it's gonna look a little bit similar to the squat, but instead of dropping your hips down towards the floor, you're gonna slide your hips and your butt back while keeping your chest up. So Jeff's gonna keep his chest up, shoulders back, and his hips are gonna slide back with a soft bend in his knees. So he's not bending his knees a lot. All he's doing is sliding his hips back. It's very important that he keeps his chest tall, because if he drops his chest down, his lower back is gonna round out. It's gonna put a lot of stress on his lower back, could potentially hurt it. So you wanna keep your chest up, your lower back nice and flat. All right, so let's show him a couple reps. So instead of dropping down, he's pushing his butt back. All right, it's a very basic movement. You should feel a stretch in your hamstrings every single time. That's exactly what you wanna feel. All right, so this is the hip hinge movement. All right, guys, the next movement that we're gonna show you is the push-up. So this goes along with the push pattern. This is the foundation and the basis for every exercise where you are pushing something. So whether you're doing a medicine ball throw where you're pushing a medicine ball, a bench press, a push-up, or even an overhead press where you're pushing something away from you using your chest, your triceps, and all those muscles in your shoulders. All right, so very basic. You wanna keep your abs tight, your hips tight when you set up. And when you set up on the floor, you want to get your hands right underneath your elbows so you're nice and stable. Squeeze your glutes, squeeze your abs. And as you lower yourself, you want to keep your elbows really tight to your sides. You don't want your elbows to flare at a 90-degree angle. That puts a lot of stress on your shoulders. You want to keep them nice and tight to your sides within a 45-degree angle. That's going to keep your shoulders nice and comfortable. It's going to put more weight on your chest and triceps, the stronger muscles, okay? So the push-up is going to be just like that. One thing we don't want you to see, is your hips dip down. That's going to put a lot of strain on your lower back. We also don't want to see your hips hiked all the way up, okay? If you cannot perform a full range of motion push-up, we do allow you to drop down to your knees, and then you can, with straight hips, you can perform the push-up in the same manner. Again, we don't want to see your hips hiked up where you're only moving your chest, like this, Jeff. And we also don't want to see your hips dip down and take all that pressure and put it on your lower back, okay? So again, this is the push-up pattern. This is the foundation for the bench press, overhead press, and any kind of pressing or pushing motion that you're going to see. All right, guys, the last pattern that we're going to show you is called the pulling pattern, okay? This is the foundation for any kind of rowing exercise, any kind of pull-up, anything where you're really using your upper back, your biceps, and even your core in that pulling motion, okay? So Jeff's gonna show you the foundational exercise that we use. It's called the recline row. So all you're gonna do is lean back. You're gonna find a comfortable position. The more upright you are, the easier it'll be. And the lower down and more parallel to the ground you are, the harder it's gonna be. That's, gravity going into place and leverage at the same time. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna set up in this position. You're gonna keep your elbows nice and tight to your sides, and you're gonna pull up, squeezing your upper back at the top, okay? You don't want to just curl and bicep curl yourself up. You really want to make sure you're actively engaging your upper back and squeezing that muscle in the shoulder blades, squeezing your shoulder blades together at the top. This is going to get you a huge benefit. It's really going to help build you up to being able to do pull-ups and really heavy rows and build up your upper back strength and core strength, all right? So that's the recline row exercise. So we walked you through all the patterns that you're going to see. Everything that we do in here is based off of those 4 patterns, and once you get those down, there's nothing that you won't be able to do or progress to being able to do. All right? So I hope this helps, and we'll see you on Monday.